Once you get on body game, you will continue to win. When you look at the average man, he's in very bad shape. And I see a lot of people, they will point fingers, oh, women are no good. But honestly, I think it's on both sides. A lot of these guys, average man in America, 28% body fat. And I think we just seeing a decline in humanity too, man. And I think a lot of guys, they have to cling to race or other things like that to make themselves feel better, because they can't look at anything and say, you know what, I'm not the average guy. You know, I think it's tough for guys when you realize there's nothing that's really special about you. You have to earn that place in life, man. And that's why I always talk about body game. A lot of guys will say, Cole, you know, that's overrated. It's not that important. But I say, man, your mind, your body, your soul is all connected. It's going to be really hard to feel good about yourself when you look like shit, when you got titties, when you got love handles. It's going to be a lot harder to have confidence in yourself. You grow that confidence from going through trials and tribulations and pushing yourself, putting yourself through the test, you know. And I think that really starts with the physical, you know. So recently, man, I was on YouTube looking at a lot of comments, and I had a lot of hate comments, man. And I think a lot of these people, they spew hate because they don't feel good about themselves. And I think the average man, he looks for different things to cling to. So I'll talk about a couple comments I got. I'll tell you what I can't remember. One guy, he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you come off as very narcissistic. He said something like light-skinned pretty boy. And I'm like, what does light skin have to do with anything? You know, and I see this a lot from, you know, darker people. And I see this from both sides, man. You know, and I think the people that have to cling to race, they truly don't feel good about themselves. You know, I think people that feel good about themselves, even if you like, okay, bro, a little too into himself, I don't like his content, you're just gonna click off the video. But these people that have to leave a comment and say, oh, light skin this, light skin that, it's like, what's your issue with light skin guys? You know, like, why did you have to mention light skin? You could have just said pretty boy. And even when you say pretty boy, it's like, I can't help that my parents gave me good genetics. But even when it comes to that, it's not like I'm one of these pretty boys that like super obsessed with looks maxing and all that stuff. I think that shit's goofy. And I tell you guys that all the time. When you look at one of my first videos that blew up, I said, I'm telling a story how I was doing DoorDash, and I was in this breakfast restaurant, and a lady, she kept touching up on me, older lady. And I tell you in that video, I'm like, man, I had a crotch in my joggers. I had wore these joggers so many damn times, and I got them from my brother. My brother wore them damn joggers so many times. And I was wearing a shirt that I had in middle school. So when it comes to this pretty boy thing, it's like, why is you throwing shade at me because my parents look good? Because I tell you this, a lot of times I'm cheap. A lot of times I don't care about my appearance. I need to care more, honestly. You know, it's been a minute since I got a haircut, but I got this good, you know, I got this beautiful hair. I can get away with it a little bit more. But this whole pretty boy thing is just like, you just don't feel good about yourself. And I left a comment under this one video I saw with Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens. They did like a long sit down kind of debate thing. And I was getting a lot of hate comments in that too, man. And it makes me realize, like, a lot of people, they identify with a Nick Fuentes. And I truly think Nick Fuentes, he's a smart guy to dumb people. He's a smart guy to dumb people. But it's like the stuff he was saying was so stupid. And if you are educated at all, you can realize how stupid it was. He said, he's pushing that narrative that black people have lower IQ. It's been debunked many times. But I really don't like that shit. Like, why do you have to cling to a race and say we are superior than you guys? Like, I don't know. When you push that narrative, it's like you don't feel good about yourself, and you don't have anything on an individual level where you can be like, I'm not the average guy. You know, when you look at your body and you have a puny body. So that's why I feel like a lot of guys identify with a Nick Fuentes. But I'll show y'all how bullshit it is, man. So he'll say, you know, that white people have higher IQs than black people, Asians have the highest IQ. But when you truly look at it, you can realize it's culture. You know, he say it's all nature, it's not nurture, but I promise you it's nurture. Nurture plays a big role, and I'm not saying that genetics don't play a role, but I think it's more bloodlines more than just race. You know, I think that's a really goofy way to look at it. And he said, you know, you see people in America, African Americans have higher IQ than people in Africa because slavery had a eugenics effect. And I'm like, dude, that makes no sense at all. It might have had a eugenics effect, but he was saying like the bottom 10% of, you know, black people that got enslaved in America died off. What would that have to do with IQ at all? If anything, the higher IQ black people were more likely to try to read. They were more likely to try to run. They were more likely to try to overthrow because they realized how foolish they were being treated. So if anything, the higher IQ blacks were more likely to get killed. So this whole narrative, like, oh, the only reason why black people in America have higher IQ than black people in Africa because this eugenics effect, and it's like, bro, you sound stupid. To anybody that can think at all, you sound stupid, but this is the thing, a lot of people can't think for themselves. And that's all by design. They want you to be a worker. They want you to slave your whole life away. So people will hear that and be like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Wow. And then they can feel like they're part of this superior race. And it's like, he's not even pure himself. Like, what are we talking about? But when you have a puny body like that, when you don't feel good about yourself, you have to cling to a group. I mean, bro's 26 and never had any women. But you talk all this stuff about family. You talk about how interracial couples shouldn't exist and stuff like that. How you think it's nasty. You say you want your kids to look like you, but you're not even on the path to even trying to get a woman. And he said this, man. And I know this might seem kind of off topic, but I promise you, when you really think about it, it all combines. It all combines. Because I'm saying, if this guy was in shape, a lot of women were very much into him, and he was like that growing up, he wouldn't be spewing all this hate, dog. So I'll tell you guys all that to say this, man. He kind of gave it an excuse like, oh, you know, I go through a lot and I feel like it'd be selfish for me to get a woman now and have kids and put them through all this stuff. And it's like, if that's your lady, are you going to keep doing what you're doing? Yeah, you're probably going to keep doing what you're doing. So eventually a woman's going to have to go through that anyways. And if a woman's really down for you, she ready to ride with you through whatever. If a woman's really rocking with you, dog, she's down for you. You know, that's life. That's life. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. If you make your living off talking crazy online and you get a lot of people that come after you because of that, that's part of your life. So why would you put a hold on having a family if that's like the most important thing to you? But see, a lot of these guys are full of shit. They're full of shit. They just spewing bullshit. Family isn't that important to you, and this guy probably has mating anxiety. This dude, he's not good with women. He probably has anxiety. He might have a small pecker, you know, so he's scared to talk to women. But he won't say the truth of things. But I say all that to say this, man. When you get on body game, when you start to believe in yourself, when you go through trials and tribulations, dog, you don't have to cling to a race. You don't have to cling to all this other goofy shit. You can feel good about yourself because you know you're not the average man. It's hard to feel good as the average man. Let's keep it real. You know, people say, oh, we're all equal. We all the same. There's no difference between us. No, there's a difference between us. But the biggest difference is what type of work are you putting in? What are you doing to separate yourself from the crowd? Are you trying to learn more? Are you trying to grow? And, you know, I realized how ignorant I was too, man. Because, you know, in the past, I would have heard someone like Nick Fuentes talking. I used to think it wasn't that crazy. But now it's like the more I learn, the more I realize how truly sickening Africa has been treated, man. But it's all by design. They want you to be stupid. They don't want you to know real history, you know, because we'll learn about the Holocaust. I can't tell you how many times we done see movies about the Holocaust, but I never heard anything about King Leopold II. But double the amount of people died in the Congo than in the Holocaust. So why have I heard about one but not the other? It's all by design. You know, so that's why I think a lot of people are so racist, just because they haven't learned enough, man. And I think the smarter people, they realize that it's all by design. And they don't teach us about the Congo because they still taking advantage of the people today for the resources of Africa, you know? So I don't know, man. It's truly sad when I see how some of these people online are, man. You know, like a lot of these people really don't feel good about themselves, and it's blatantly obvious. And instead of taking a couple steps back and saying, what can I do for my life? What can I focus on? They focus on other people. You know, you look at these black, oh, they can't get it together. It's like, you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they've been through, man. Like, I've had many experiences, bad and good, with black people, man. You know, I worked at a soul food restaurant. I done seen people act crazy as hell over some hog maws and some chitlins. I promise you. I done seen some of the worst. I done met black people that can't read or write, you know, but I've also met very brilliant black people, man. And a lot of people are in very bad conditions because it was all by design. But you can't blame anybody else. You got to take a couple steps back and see what you can do for your life, no matter what color you are, you know. So I just want y'all to really open up your mind, man, and realize it all starts with that first step, getting in shape. You know, I'm about to hit some cardio right now, man. Take care of your body, man. Because a lot of these people out in this world, they're evil. They're evil and they don't feel good about themselves, so they spread all this hate. And if you don't get your mind right, if you don't separate yourself from the crowd every now and then, you're gonna fall right into all the bullshit, man. Dating doesn't have to be that hard. When you start to have exceptional habits, and the exceptional habits, they're really not that hard, I promise you guys. You just change your diet a little bit, you just doing more cardio, you just hitting the weights a little bit more than the average, man. Life can be so much better, man. Life can be so much better. Like, stop blaming everybody else for your problems. Truly take a look at yourself and say, would a woman want to start a family with me? Would a woman want to lay down with me? You got to keep it real with yourself. And so many guys out here are lying and bullshitting and they're blaming the next man. And I've even said this before. I think a lot of white guys that have like a big thing against black people, I think a lot of that comes from, one, the news, obviously. But two, I think it comes from pornography. You see this big black guy with his hammer cock smashing this little white girl, and now you feel some type of way about it. I truly feel like that's why they feel some type of way about it. And I've even heard a girl say this before. She said, her father asked her, why do you like black guys? Is it because they have big dicks? Like I can't comprehend why you like black guys. Is that the reason why? So, I mean, really, man, like, get away from that stupid way of thinking, man. All that shit is by design. It's all divide and conquer, man. It's all divide and conquer. But sometimes you got to get away from all the bullshit and lock into what you need to do, man. You get this one guaranteed life. Stop being around these fucking losers, dog. These Nick Fuentes type guys, weak body, look at his posture, look nasty. Get away from that type of thinking, man, and become the best version of yourself, man. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. I mean, look at yourself before you judge everybody else. If you ain't got your body together, you shouldn't be talking about anybody or anything. You ain't even got your body together. You got these titties. You got these love handles. You living like a shit ass, but you got so much to say about a group of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, get away from that bullshit, dog. What do your habits look like? I say it all the time. A lot of you guys, you're not ugly. You just have ugly habits. But that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. I'm about to get my cardio in. I'll catch y'all boys in the next one.